Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now today I want to share with you some Samsung Galaxy mistakes that a lot of Galaxy users are making on their phones. And the very first one is using your camera in default settings, because if you go into your camera, tap on the video tab right here, you'll see that by default is going to be set to Full HD 30, and Full HD is only 1080p resolution, which by today's standards is not very good. And if you want to get the best quality video out of your phone, you're definitely going to want to tap on this and set it to UHD, which is 4K, and you also have a choice between 30 and 60 FPS. Now, I recommend you leave it in 30 unless you're going to be shooting slow motion. Then you can set it to 60 FPS, but definitely go ahead and change it to 4K. Now, we of course also have an option for 8K, but I feel like that's pretty much overkill for most people. You're probably not going to need it, so definitely go ahead and just set it to 4K at least, and now you're going to get much better video quality out of your Galaxy phone. Now, this next mistake is specific to those of you who have the Samsung Galaxy Ultra version of the phone, because there's another setting that you definitely need to change that a lot of people might not know about. And what you want to do is go into your phone settings, swipe down to display, and go down here to where it says screen resolution. Now, by default, out of the box, when you get the Galaxy Ultra version of the phone, is going to be set to Full HD+, which again is a 1080p resolution, but this phone is capable of QHD+, which is a 1440p resolution, so you're going to get a much more crisp and sharp display. And given that you paid a lot of money for this phone, you're definitely going to want to get the best experience out of it. So definitely go ahead and set it to QHD+ and apply the change for the best visual experience on your phone. Now, the next mistake I see a lot of people making on their phone is using it in light mode, because when you have your phone set to light mode, you can see that the whole entire screen lights up and every single pixel is working to keep your display powered. But if you set it to dark mode, any of these pixels that are completely black will be off entirely, because modern phones use an OLED display and they're able to control every single pixel individually. So anything that's completely black will be off, and your phone is going to conserve battery by not having to constantly power the whole entire display. And as you're using your phone over the day, just navigating around the UI, just playing around with your phone, using applications, this is definitely going to add up to save you lots of battery over the day. As a matter of fact, setting your phone to dark mode is the single best thing that you can do for battery life. So if you want as much battery as possible on your phone, don't worry about any of the other battery saving settings on your phone. This is the best thing that you can do for longer battery life. The next mistake I see a lot of people making on their phones is closing out all of the background tasks that you have running on your phone. Now, I know it's a good feeling to just clear these out and have your phone looking fresh with nothing running in the background, but if you think that that's saving you battery life, it's actually doing the opposite and in fact wasting battery life. And the reason for this is because anytime that you open up an application, your phone has to use a lot more resources to load it from scratch. But if you keep it in the background, it will be in a low powered state, and it will require a lot less resources and battery from your phone to just sit here in this low powered mode in the background. So you can continue using your phone throughout the day and just leave all of these applications here in the background, and that's going to save you more battery than it will to close these out and having to relaunch them from scratch every single time. Alright guys, now this next mistake that you're making is a serious security threat, and there is a setting that I highly suggest everybody change to save yourself from possibly getting your information stolen. Because by default, the way your phone behaves anytime you are typing in a password, whether you're logging into your social medias or into your bank account, anytime you're typing your password, you can see that it is showing the last character that you typed for a couple of seconds. And if anybody is hovering over your shoulder or looking at your phone, they will be able to see exactly what password you are typing out, and that is a recipe for disaster. So there is a setting that you absolutely need to change on your Samsung phone, and to do that, what you want to do is go into settings, swipe down to security and privacy, select more security settings, and right there it says make passwords visible. Go ahead and disable this toggle, and now it will no longer display every single character that you're typing as you're writing out the password. So if I go back into this application and I start hitting these characters, you can see that it does not show a quick preview of any character that I'm typing, and that's just going to keep you a lot more safe. Now, the next mistake I see a lot of people making has to do with the screenshot, particularly when somebody wants to take a screenshot of maybe some kind of recipe or just a web page that has a lot of text that doesn't quite fit into the screenshot. What a lot of people will do is take a screenshot, swipe down, take another screenshot, swipe down, take another screenshot, and then they're stuck with a whole bunch of screenshots that they have to go through to see everything that they need. But there's a much easier way, guys. You don't need to keep taking screenshots. All you need to do is take one screenshot, and you'll see this tooltip down here with this down arrow that you can tap and hold, and now your phone will take a scrolling screenshot and capture all of this data in one screenshot. And you can just make this as long as you need to capture all of the information that you need in the screenshot. And when you're done, just let go. And now you can see you have one long screenshot with all of the details that you need that you can zoom into. And now you can reference all of the information that you need all from this one screenshot. Alright guys, the next mistake I see a lot of people making has to do with unlocking your phone, because if you are not using an always on display, or maybe your phone is in low power mode or power saving mode, you will not see the fingerprint unlock button on your always on display because it's disabled, and you actually have to unlock your phone to see that fingerprint and then unlock your phone. But you don't actually need to do that, because even though your fingerprint is not showing up on the always on display, the sensor is still there and accessible, and you can actually unlock your phone directly from the always on display even if that fingerprint sensor isn't showing up and your always on display is disabled. So stop unlocking your phone to go to the lock screen and then putting in your fingerprint. Just do it right from your always on display even if it's disabled, and your phone will unlock just the same. Now, ever since the major phone manufacturers like Apple, Google, and Samsung have stopped shipping power bricks with the new phones, a lot of people just aren't buying power bricks because nobody wants to spend money, and a lot of people already have an old one laying around. But what a lot of people don't realize is if you're using an old power brick, you might be missing out on fast charging your phone with that brick because it doesn't have enough wattage to fast charge your phone. Now, most Samsung Galaxy phones, including the S25 Ultra, charge at a peak wattage of 45 watts. So you want to make sure that your charging brick can output at least 45 watts to get the fastest charging possible on your phone. And one way to check if you're fast charging your phone is to just plug your phone into your charger and see what kind of charge animation that you're getting. So if you plug your phone in and you see a green charging animation with one Thunderbolt, it means you're getting fast charging, which is around 15 watts. So it's not actually the faster 45 watts that we're looking for. Now, if you plug your phone in and you see a blue animation, now you're getting that super fast charging at the actual 45 watts, which is the fastest possible charging that you can get on this phone. Now, the next mistake I see a lot of people making on their phones is anytime they want to take a photo of a specific moment in a video that they had, a lot of people will just go ahead and take a screenshot. But this is actually the wrong way to do this, and I'll explain in a second why. But what you want to do instead is find the frame that you want to take a photo of, and instead of taking a screenshot, you'll see this little button right here on the bottom left corner of your video. If you tap on that, it will now take a still from that video. And now if I go and show you those two pictures that I took, you can see that the reason this one is better is the screenshot has these black bars at the top and bottom of the photo. So if you're ever going to be sharing this photo with somebody or maybe printing it yourself for an album, you're going to have these two black bars at the top and bottom, not just this section here that you want. Whereas this other one where I took a picture the right way, you can see in the thumbnail that it just has the photo without the black bars at the top and bottom. Also, if we look at the metadata of these photos, the screenshot that I took is a 1440 by 2954 resolution photo. It's 4 megapixels and 603 kilobytes. But the other photo that we took the right way is 3840 by 2160 resolution, 8 megapixels and 1.2 megabytes. So this is a much higher resolution photo with better quality. So if you're ever going to be printing them again or enlarging them, you're going to get a lot more details out of this photo instead of the screenshot that we took. So if you're ever going to be extracting photos out of a video, make sure that you do it the way that I showed you so you get the best quality possible. The next mistake a lot of people are making on their phone is not rebooting it regularly. And I know nobody wants to just sit there and reboot their phone and wait for it when we're using it, but there's a setting on your phone that you can set up to allow your phone to reboot on its own and only when it needs to reboot. And to do this, what you want to do is go into your phone settings, swipe down to device care, go to auto optimization, tap auto restart, and then just enable this feature that says restart when needed. So if anything is ever not working as it's supposed to, maybe some processes are bogged down or just some piece of hardware on your phone is malfunctioning, your phone will just give itself a reboot to fix that. And the best part about this is it will only reboot when your phone is not being used, usually at night while you're sleeping. But if you want, you can also restart it on a schedule and just set up your own schedule here. But I just set it to restart when needed and let my phone do all the thinking for me. Alright guys, now the last mistake a lot of people are making on their phone is always using 5G on your phone. And I know 5G is the fastest protocol out there right now, But the problem is, if you don't have 5G antennas in your area or they're far away from you, this can actually slow down your phone's connectivity instead of making it faster. And not only does it make your phone slower, it also uses more battery because it is constantly searching for that 5G network. So sometimes using 5G will actually make your phone feel slower and kill your battery. So what you want to do is go into your phone settings, go to connections, mobile networks, and right here in network mode, you can see mine is already set to LTE, but by default it's going to be set to 5G preferred. And like I said, if you don't have any antennas around you, this can definitely cause you more problems than it solves. So setting it to LTE can actually improve your phone's connection and save you battery life. And I actually did this for my wife on her iPhone. She was constantly complaining that every time she would go somewhere, her phone would be really slow to load the Maps app or any browsers. And when I set it to LTE, she immediately noticed an improvement. So if you're having the same problem where anytime you leave your house, you feel like your phone is just slow to load websites or your Maps application or your social media or anything, definitely try setting it to LTE and see if that makes an improvement. Let me know in the comments below if you've made any of these mistakes yourself. And if you want to know some amazing Samsung Galaxy quality of life settings that I suggest everybody enable to make using your phone better, check out this video right here. But that's going to do it for now. See you in the next one.